Wagada diggada dooga.
What up?
What's up?
You know, we invented that.
We did. We when we were 11 years old. I was 11. You were like, I think, 15 or 16.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you hanging out with an 11-year-old? That's really creepy. And you're like, hey, I'm a creepy guy.
I'm a creepy guy. Enough time has passed. Like, our Zoomer, anyone that's a Zoomer that's listening to us, just takes our word for it. They just believe us.
Yeah. Well, the Zoomers have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
No, they don't.
So, they don't know about
what's up.
Right. Yeah. They're like the saying "what's up." I don't think you invented that. And we're like, no, we're talking about the Budweiser beer commercial from like 1998. And then do you remember like the very next year Budweiser parodied themselves and they did the "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how like that was the age before memes. So like stuff like the Budweiser frogs and like the was ups, like they basically dominated like just popular culture for so long. They had such a grip. Like the Budweiser frogs especially had like a reign for like 5 years almost.
Yeah, people don't realize. Yeah, so before memes, the memes were a couple things. So a lot of people point out that Super Bowl ads of that era were like the memes of the era. That's true. One thing they totally overlook though is boardwalk t-shirts. And you know what I'm talking about, like anywhere with like an open air market or something is selling like t-shirts. We got your big dogs, we got your big Johnsons. The t-shirts with like the nerdy guy who supposedly has like a really big dick, and
all the girls with really big boobs are all over him. Like,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so like, and you have like these memes that are like kind of set for certain people. Like obviously the Big Johnson shirt is for like the skinny guys, right? Who want to be like, oh, I'm skinny, got big dick, I'm like Big Johnson, all the girls love that. And then the fat guys go for the big dogs, and they have all the slogans on them, like if you can't eat with the big dogs, get out of the slop house and shit like that.
And Big Dog still makes t-shirts. I mean, I recently, like I think last year, I got the Big Dog Star Trek shirt.
Right.
It was like $50.
Yeah,
It's like so much.
But also in those places, you saw like the real genesis of things like Hot Topic and like Spencer's Gifts, and those like those shirts, those with the fucking like out of my mind, be back in 20 minutes, that kind of thing. The fucking fucking dumbass bullshit t-shirts with like dumb slogans on them and dumb jokes. That was the meme for a long time before memes existed and before the internet really proliferated.
Oh yeah, they still exist in every like seaside tourist trap town. Like if you're near a beach and there's like a boardwalk, you have a novelty T-shirt thing where it's just like, who farted.
Or I'm with stupid and it's pointing down to your dick, and it's like
or I'm with flaccid. Yeah. I think I would love to run like that's maybe a long-term goal, just like buy one of own and operate one of those stores.
So now that I think about it more, Spencer's Gifts literally is just like a shitty boardwalk novelty store that they put into a mall. It's got everything. It's got the fucking sex toys. It's got the dumbass T-shirts. It's got like fucking shitty colognes and shit. It's got incense. It's got
mugs with boobs on them.
Oh yeah, lots of mugs with boobs on them. A fucking T-shirt that says like "Lordy, Lordy, Pete's turned 40." And they have only like 2 of them in stock. So like, are you gonna throw a party where people are actually wearing that? I don't know.
I was actually surprised. Like, I went into a Spencer's recently. Like when I first moved out here, like I had lots of free time. And there was like a dying mall nearby, so I was like, oh, I love dying malls, which actually had lots of really awesome they had a store in there that had lots of awesome Star Trek toys.
Okay.
I was genuinely surprised. They also had a Star Trek pinball game that I played a lot of.
Oh, nice.
But like I ended up walking to a Spencer's, and I was surprised. Like, I remember when I was a teenager going to Spencer's, and like they had like back massagers. They couldn't actually call them like actual sex toys or anything.
Right.
And now it's just full on sex toys. Like they actually have like male masturbators.
Right. Now it's like they have a little sign above the thing that says like, "Welcome to the fuck dungeon." Like, time to get your parts greasy. Like.
Yeah, I remember going into Spencer's to buy like fart spray or something, and it's just like, oh yeah, now you can just go in and get a actual operational sex toy.
So
how times have changed,
right?
It's because of Biden's America.
Yeah, regardless if you're going in for the fart spray or the sex toy, you're going in there for something to get you off. I know how you be with that fart spray, brother.
Something's gonna be smelling like shit at the end. Either way, come out of there.
So we're here today. By the way, this is Soy Trek. I'm Comrade Britt.
Oh yeah, and I'm Patrick.
And welcome to the bridge. We're here today to talk about the 3rd episode of season 5 of Star Trek Discovery. But before that. Let's get into our Patreon. No effects. Did you like that? Here it is with effects. Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
So we got a Patreon. It's at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. That's dumbidiotbs on patreon.com. What can you get there? Well, shit ton of stuff for as little as free, but we prefer you pay $2 a month or more. You have access to our entire archive of all of our shows. That's 5 different shows there. We got of course Soy Trek. We've got the Media Dungeon. We've got Dumb Idiot Bullshit. We've got Getting Head of Bucket Cast. We've got Prison Breakdown, and I guess we have My Wife now. So we got 6 podcasts going here.
So many
podcasts, baby. So many podcasts. But so you get access to like over 500 episodes of podcasts. What else do you got? I don't know. A ton of fucking shit. You got for $5 a month, we say thank you, and you're a co-producer on our podcast to people just like Dylan Lance, Jordan Hale, Elizabeth Hearn, Nick Savard, Shane Sawyer, David Craning, Sites, Electric Baphomet, Gursky, Jor Moore, Kyle Simmons, Gillian McCrary, SFC Punk, 7 of 9, D. Riker, Ethan Adams, James Hartman, Iggy, Abigail Simpson, Shane Williams, Sam Mayo, Seb, Robert Yolito, Asher Pliskin, Skeptic, Papa Poison, Awful Star Trek Drawings, Jose Martinez, Nova, Gabe Siciliano, Big Strong Boy, Vinny, LD Corset, Former Twink, Nathan G, and our good friends over at Hate Speech Podcast, the Bruce Campbell Podcast, and Anamorphing Time.
Hells yeah.
Yeah, you should go listen to those podcasts. They're good, but you should more so listen to our podcast on the Dumb Idiot Bullshit Podcast Network. Yeah, for $10 a month, you get access to
the Media Dungeon.
Yeah.
which is a server. It's a media server with over 18,000 films. I'm closing in on 19,000 films.
Wow.
I've got almost 1,700 shows. So I've got more media on there than any streaming service. Straight up, just any streaming service that exists. So, and I also have every episode of Star Trek and keep that updated regularly. I've got every episode of Star Trek, in HD. That's right. I have the Voyager upscales, and I've got the DS9 upscales, the very best ones I could find. So,
Hells yeah.
if you're into that,
Your one-stop Trek shop.
one-stop media shop, baby.
One-stop media shop.
Indeed, unless you're looking for pornography. I don't have pornography on there. Sorry, folks.
That's on your personal server.
It used to be, but the way Plex sorts pornography is terrible. So yeah, they don't really have any porn sorting system. No porn metadata. So I was
God.
pathetic.
What are they doing there?
Pathetic. I'll do my own organization. Thank you very much. Yeah, and for $20 a month, you can get merch. And I'm sending out merch in just a couple days here. I've got really big packages for 2 months for people here. I've been waiting on some stuff, so that should be fun. Yeah, once again, that's patreon.com/dumbidiotbullshit. Sorry, dumbidiotbs. Patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. The BS stands for bullshit. But go type BS, which is the correct one. Indeed.
BS.
So what's going on, Pat?
Yeah,
No,
chilling.
How's Providence? You just moved there.
Yeah, it's good.
Good.
Yeah, checked out some little local flavor. Found out H.P. Lovecraft is buried here.
He is. His house is there. You should go take like a Brown tour or something. Or actually, there's good ghost tours. I took a good ghost tour in Providence. You should take a ghost tour because it gives you a lot of history and stuff. It's pretty fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Like, I'm still getting acquainted with this cute little city.
Yeah, it's very quaint. It's a quaint, cute city. Parts of it are just like trash. You've probably seen some trash parts, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Joe Brandon.
Yeah, Brander. So yeah. Who do you think? What president had the best Star Treks released during their tenure? Was it Bill Clinton? I'm gonna say Bill Clinton.
That would have to be Clinton because that was like, I mean, yeah, because that was probably during the best years of TNG too, right?
Yeah, and basically all the years of DS9.
Yeah, so yeah, it'd have to go to Clinton, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Clinton. Who had the worst years of Star Trek? What president?
Obama.
No, because Obama had Star Trek 2000. He had like all the
I guess
Abrams.
Bush had Enterprise, so maybe that I think that was the Enterprise. I think was the only during the Bush years. I guess like there was parts of Voyager that was during the Bush years, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
The end of Voyager was Bush years.
Yeah, so it was Voyager and Enterprise. And then, of course, like they had to address 9/11 and Enterprise. So we had...
Didn't DS9 end in 2000? No, 99. Sorry. Summer of 99.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. No.
So it just narrowly missed out. And that's why we got Bush.
You're right. You know what? I mean, and we all know that Voyager is the reason we got Obama by way of Jerry Ryan.
By way of Jerry Ryan. That Jerry Ryan is legitimately the reason.
Yeah, is Hoobastank says the reason is you, but I say the reason is 709, baby.
Yeah, so Google that if you don't know.
Yeah, because it's true. Jerry Ryan is the reason that Obama became president eventually. Besides his charisma and a mass corporate movement with, behind
the small domino ending with a larger domino.
Right.
It's like Jack Ryan, I think that was her husband's name, sex scandal. Obama becomes president as the larger one.
It's wild. So anyway, you ready to get into the meat of the matter today, what we're here to talk about?
I am.
Alrighty. We are here to talk today about Star Trek Discovery Season 5, Episode 3. It was just released. This one's called Jinaal, Jinaal, which is the name of a character in here. I was kind of confused at first. Yeah, it was released on April 11th, 2024, 3 days after my birthday.
Ooh, this is a nice little surprise for you.
I guess so. So this one was written by Kyle Jarrow, who has written 3 episodes of Discovery, including The Examples, the Species 10C from Species 10C from Season 4, and he also wrote the book for the SpongeBob musical. So all the dialogue of the SpongeBob musical is written by him.
Okay.
And also this episode was co-written by Lauren Wilkinson, who is a staff writer for the show Citadel and Class of 09, and is the new story editor on Discovery for this season. And then this episode was directed by Andy Armaganian, who directed the Season 4 episode Rubicon of Discovery, and also the Strange New Worlds episode Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach. And also 9 episodes of Stargirl.
Do love that episode of Strange New Worlds.
It was pretty good, yeah. So, we got some decent bones here. SpongeBob musical, Strange New Worlds director. Fun.
Fun times.
We open on Discovery in orbit with a bunch of other Federation ships as Burnham tells Book and Culber they need more information on Maul and La'ok, the couriers who have some information that might lead them to the progenitor technology. But they don't have much except a bit about Maul's past, and she's been through a lot. They're headed towards Trill to find the progenitor technology. Book says he's learning from his choices and says this is how he gets his life back, and tries to convince Michael to let him come with them onto Trill. Culber has Sorry?
Yeah, it's just this is like the Burnham and Book show.
It is. So, it is. And everything always ends up with those two on an away mission together. And it's already happened in every episode this season, and it happens again in this season.
I think it happened every episode last season as well.
Pretty much. They actually split them apart for the last 5 episodes because Book.
They were kind of at odds.
Right. So Culber has a conversation about Burnham, about mindfulness. So they talk about meditation and shit like that. Whatever. Culber and Michael come in on Tilly and Adira doing some encryption decoding on the poem from the last episode. They realize that the markings on the poem correspond to the markings on a trill, which are unique to the individual, like a fingerprint, which I think is a cool, interesting idea that they're using there. The clue points to a person, a trill named Jinaal, who, if still alive, is over 800 years old, which Adira says is rare, but I'm pretty sure Tal's, Adira's, Trill is over 800 years old because one of their hosts was wearing, a Picard-era uniform in an episode. So, I don't know.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Adira had the symbiont.
Yeah. So, I'm because Adira is the first human that they've been able to fuse with the Trill. So I don't know why they say it's rare when they have one, but And it's weird that they don't mention, well, I'm like 800 years old. I don't know. It's weird.
And I totally forgot until you mentioned it that did happen, and that doesn't seem to come up at all when Adira is on the away mission to Trill.
Right. It feels like, I don't know. Yeah. And they've changed like the writer's room over so many times, and also like the showrunners, that I feel like maybe too many eyes missed that, I think, for that to like remain in the episode. Although I guess it was written by the story editor, so she edited her own story.
Because also, that would have been a more interesting side plot. Just like, you think like they would want to, the Trill would want to just inspect Adira just to see how the symbiote's like bonding with them, since it's like a first non-Trill.
Right.
And so it's just like that would be like a subject of interest for them. Just like that, and that could have been like the side, but I guess there is like several side plots. There's like the Gray and Adira side plot, and then of course like the getting to know you side plot.
Getting to know
Raynor.
You.
But I mean, I guess I don't know, it would make sense.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So Michael wants to find the current host, and has Tilly, Culber, and Book come with her on the away team. So they're looking for the host of that Trill symbiont. The music here is far too much, and I'm pretty sure it's the same stock music that Neil Breen used in Twisted Pair. Burnham goes to meet Raynor in her ready room. The disgraced captain who has had to step down and take the position of number one on her ship. Michael says she's skeptical about him and condescends to him, telling him this is how you show them you're fit for the job, then introduces the crew to Raynor and goes immediately to Black Alert to do a warp. Meanwhile, Adira goes to engineering and talks about how long it's been since they've seen Gray, and they drank too many Ractachinos and are very jumpy. Jet Reno talks to Stamets and says there may be trouble in paradise. On the bridge, they're ready to transport to Trill when they're suddenly denied. Guardian Z talks to them via hologram and tells them the information they seek has been protected for centuries, and there's a question they must answer first. Where does the fourth point? Burnham figures out it's a riddle from the poem and the fourth stanza, which points to Betazed, which is what she answers. It's correct. Great. Michael's so smart and figures everything out. I love that like the crew doesn't help at all with this. She's just like, wait, I know it's this. It's this. And he's like, very good.
That's why I think I do like the premise where it's just like, we're introducing, like, it's very important for Raynor to be introduced to all these crew members who get no time in the spotlight. And that's sort of like the show itself.
Yes. It is a microcosm for the show.
Yeah, where the show completely glosses over all of the crew members because it's like more about the individual characters of Burnham and Book rather than like the ensemble crew of the and so it's just like 20 words is more than they've gotten for 5 seasons.
Straight up, like Raynor has gotten more lines so far this season than Detmer's gotten the entire fucking series.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So Guardian Z says they can talk to the Trill Bix, and they're the first to come looking. They let them transport to some caves. Credits.
Bix is also the name of the goblin in Legend, the movie Legend.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. I like that.
The Goblin Bix.
Yeah,
I like that.
Thank you for that. So we get our opening credits 10 minutes and 30 seconds in, and I guess they have like really long last time ons now that are like 2.5 minutes long. They really need you to know like all the backstory, and they also assume that you like haven't been paying attention, or they understand that like they try to fit so much plot in that it's hard to follow sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like the plot is so simple. It's just like, yeah, I know we're looking for these two people, and I kind of hope like they do kind of mix it up because like I mean, word has to have gotten out. Like, I feel like it would be more dangerous for Maul and Locke, like that word gets out, like that they have like this extremely rare, dangerous thing in their possession. And you think like that would attract not only the attention of the Federation, but like every single upstart within this entire galaxy trying to attain the same thing. Like, like I think like I'm wondering if it's going to be like a plot point later on, but I mean, they mentioned like the Breen.
I was wondering about that too. Yeah, the Breen getting aggressive.
Yeah, so it's just like, so the Federation shouldn't be the only ones after this thing, and like, and it's not like they're keeping this like a tight-lipped secret at all either. It's just
so like, many people are clued into this mission, like
and that's also another thing. Like, I mean, the episode's good enough, but like there's like some stuff like this whole like the side plot between Raynor. I feel it kind of, the fact that they have like this one storyline throughout the entire season kind of does a disservice in a way, because it's like you're dealing with like this issue of utmost importance, but also everyone's just kind of like dicking around on the ship, and especially when like Book and Burnham are on the Way mission dealing with this very dangerous thing, the tone is completely different on the ship that's kind of supposed to be acting as their backup and monitoring their away mission to make sure of their safety. You know what I mean? It's just like they just like throw them the wolves, and like at no point does the bridge crew ever react to like Burnham and Book being in like dire straits.
That's true, and like I mean, no one does. Like even though they tell Adira, they're like, "Hey, keep comms open." Adira definitely turns comms off to have the talk.
I'm too busy getting broken up with. That takes precedent over the captain of my ship nearly being murdered.
We'll talk about that when we get there.
We'll talk about it.
So when we return from credits, the away team beams down and Gray is there. An old woman says she's been waiting her whole life, but only Jinaal can help them. He joined with their symbiont so it could carry secrets across the ages, and he must be spoken with directly with a Jantara, which is like a trill mind meld kind of. Culber offers himself as the vessel to do the Jantara.
And it's kind of annoying, like how Culber kind of just, he's like, oh, I'm, like that's his thing. It's like I'm the psychiatrist, so like I deal with all this highly emotional stuff, and constantly has like this as I said before, like the like overly concerned, disingenuous like therapy voice with every single right, and then kind of bragging about like being like, oh yeah, I'm the emotionally stable one or something, or
right,
I'm used to dealing with these emotionally unstable situations,
right?
Okay,
so like use me as a vessel.
A psychiatrist,
right?
You just became a therapist last season. We get it.
No, he's the guy who just graduated fucking undergrad psychology. He's like diagnosing everybody
one semester.
Yeah, he's like just diagnosing everyone left and right, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a counselor.
Yeah, and it's like, can you just tone it down? Can we just talk like normal people just for like 5 minutes?
Can we use our indoor voices?
Yeah.
With Saru, he tells his girlfriend, what's her name? Tarina.
Yeah, I think so.
Trina, like the hip hop artist.
Yeah.
So he tells his girlfriend that he has a recommendation as an ambassador, but it's going to be a controversial one. His girlfriend believes in him, but he has a question about the engagement announcement and if they should push it back. No, not that yet. Just about the engagement announcement. It says that he's handsome and erudite on there, and he's like, I wonder if we should put that on there. And she's like, what should we say you fucking hung like a donkey too? And he's like, yeah, handsome erudite hung like a donkey.
Got that big old fish dick.
His foot just flaps around like a fish on deck. Yeah. So on Discovery, Rayner is looking at some stuff when Tilly comes to show him the ship, but he's combing through sensor data instead. Which
is like he's doing his job.
Yeah, he is. That's like what he should do as number one, and also probably check out what the away mission is doing because that's his captain down there.
Also, yeah, this is like also a situation that they would have like, you know, the science and engineering team also looking into. Like there would be this would be delegated to like to other people, not just also have to fall into the hands of like the higher up of like the commander.
No,
you know,
yeah, definitely. Like, and also, as Tilly points out, like their computer czar is doing it in real time, and like so they already have like an AI doing this for them, and so what he's doing is like redundant.
Yeah, I also just don't like that. Just like, you know, it's just like, oh, don't worry about that. You know, we have a computer doing it. It's just like, okay, well, you can't totally rely on this on the ship's computer doing everything for you.
True,
but like that's part of the appeal of Star Trek is you have actually like the people doing this stuff actually doing jobs in space and doing like the detective work and going not just being like robot will take care of it. It's fine. Let's go.
But I mean,
let's go have a meet and greet.
This is like 800 years in the future robot. So, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's also like, I don't know if you remember last season, but the robot like gains sentience. So it's like, it's a thinking.
Wasn't it the sentience that it gained like that was in like the second season or something?
No, that was.
And that's why they had to go. That's why they had to go to the future in the first place.
You're thinking of a different computer. You're thinking of Control.
Oh yeah.
So Control. I'm talking about Zara. The computer they have that last season gained sentience, and they had to deal with it then.
Oh, that's right. And wasn't Stamets being racist about it?
Kind of, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So he was doing the Pulaski thing.
Yeah. He's always that. He's always the fucking kind of conservative gay on here, though. He's the I'm with her fucking Hillary voter, like as conservative as you can be, is like a very gay man like that type guy.
Yeah, I saw a tweet today. It was like saying like Pink, the artist, makes movie for gays who have enough money to legally own slaves. and then Paul Stamets definitely falls into that.
Yeah, definitely. So Tilly tells Rayner that crew cohesion is a top priority as well. He tells her that he can walk and chew gum and has her schedule introductions with all of the crew, 5 minutes each. Assuming they've retooled to their original 136 crew complement, that would take over 11 hours without breaks.
That's absurd. And like, that's also typically not how that's not done. I don't know, in any sort of like job.
Yeah.
Like typically, like, you know, obviously, like, I mean, I think it would have been appropriate if he did address like the crew as a group. Like definitely. Have like an introduction, like, which is typically what you see in these kind of situations, because like having that sort of like
is that on him? Why didn't Burnham do that for him? Like Burnham's the captain. She should be like, okay, I'm ordering you. We're gonna do like meet and greets with like the whole group at this one time. Like, why is it on Tilly to get him to do this when Tilly is not his boss?
And the idea of like meeting and remembering 130 names and 11 hours.
I feel like although maybe
I have people I worked with for 6 years, I never remembered their name.
Although I feel like maybe she's a good leader, Burnham is a terrible fucking manager.
Yeah, and I think that goes to like the point I was making earlier. Is that's like, you know, Burnham hasn't even really done this. Like Burnham never includes any of her crew. Like if you were to like, you know, like she never brings any of them on any sort of away missions. I mean, she brings Culber and Adira on this, but it's just like still
sometimes
they're not doing
Stamets, you know, if they need someone to be sassy.
But like the crew, I feel is like kind of always like this like thing that is kind of always glossed over in all these episodes. Like we don't really get a sense that they are working together.
So down on Trill, Adira hugs Gray, and Adira asks for a tour, and Gray says they should have a talk. Guardian Z says they're ready to begin the Jantara. They hook Culber up with the old woman and bond their minds together. Pretty much just a mind meld with an intermediary.
Doing Curzon Odo.
Yes, definitely. So Culber wakes up.
I'm surprised they didn't bring that up, like the Curzon Odo thing.
Was that the same? Was that a Jantara that they did, or Jantara?
I don't think so. If I remember correctly, yeah. But
they
like,
don't really,
but still, it's just like, like how difficult it was, you know, once Curzon got a hold of Odo's body and was just like, time to party.
I can make it how big? As big as I want. Awooga. Yeah.
Wait, and this guy's immortal?
Yeah.
Hells yeah. I'm gonna be fucking.
And then he figures out that Odo can't come unless he's part of the Great Link. So Culber wakes up as Jinaal and smiles. He says he asks what year it is, and he likes his body and immediately starts masturbating. if I was Jinaal, I'd be happy to be in this guy's body. What's Wilson Cruz? Wilson Cruz, for being like 50 years old, the dude is fucking ripped.
Oh yeah, he works out.
He works out incessantly. He's muscle daddy.
I do like he did like take on a completely different personality. Like he did, you know, he was believable as a completely separate person.
Yeah.
Like during this situation, yeah.
But also gay. He can't wash away the gay. He can't wash away the gay. Oh no, he was. Yeah, I mean, he was more straight passing.
Like a straight guy.
More straight passing. It was
Yeah, he's no Rock Hudson. Like he can't.
No. I mean, no one ever knew about Rock Hudson. They were like, oh, that's a straight man, and meanwhile he's like looking through the bushes at a public park. So
yeah, it wasn't what the illusion wasn't complete, but it was good enough. I'll give it to Wilson Cruz for that. Yeah, it was good.
So Jinaal says he doesn't have the clue, but he can take them to it. He says he hid it in the canyons 800 years ago, but can't remember the coordinates and wants to take a long walk with them. He brings Burnham and Book with him and tells Adira to keep comms open. So no matter what, it's Burnham and Book on an away mission. And here we go again. It's them two with their guide.
Yeah, that's what I feel like at this point. Like, why aren't they just making Book like a member of the crew, like officially? Like,
someone recommended that. I think Saru said that she should make Book her number one in like the last episode. So the thought was put there. But I don't know. He's fucking double crossed the Federation, but so has Burnham, I guess. But,
yeah, so is everybody.
But Book did it very recently. Burnham did it like 800 years ago.
He hasn't gone through I know he hasn't gone through the proper channels or anything. He hasn't gone to Starfleet Academy or anything.
Right, exactly.
But it's like, but at this point, it's like just bringing on this this person completely unaffiliated with the Federation on all these things.
And
it's like just at this point, just put him through the proper channels.
Look at like Garrick, though. I mean, he's got different loyalties to different places. He's got ultimately loyalty to himself. So,
but also Garrick wasn't going on every. I mean, we would love to see Garrick on every single away mission.
Garrick was on quite a few away missions, but not. He wasn't not like all book. Yeah,
it typically made sense, like when they went to the other deep space.
Yeah, or when they're going to Cardassia or some shit. Yeah. Like, it's usually. Yeah, it makes sense when they bring him on a mission. It's usually a Cardassian mission.
Yeah, but imagine going through being on that ship and like going through like, wanting to further your career, and like, these sort of away missions were definitely like interesting to you. It's the whole point you joined Starfleet. Mm-hmm. And then you're just on the ship the entire time. You never got to go on any away mission. And the person who always goes is a person who's just like a guy who wears a trench coat.
A fucking smuggler who's like double crossed the Federation before.
Yeah, who's just like, the captain's ex, and or obviously soon to be, they're gonna start dating again.
Yeah, it's so that's the thing. Like the situation with Book and Burnham is completely unprofessional, and those two should not be allowed to work together in a professional capacity, because they obviously make it unprofessional every single time.
And I would also argue, Saru and his fiance, like that's completely unprofessional situation. Like they're both voting on a similar panel.
Like, are you a Vulcan purist?
I'm not a Vulcan purist. I'm just saying, like it's still like it's
a conflict of interest.
Don't
definitely
want that sort of fraternization,
especially
when it's like representing.
Huge conflict of interest.
Yeah, huge conflict of interest. Like you can't have like a guaranteed voting block like that. People who are married and potentially like also discuss these sort of situations, and like outside of like the normal confines.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. In a Federation chamber, Saru's there with a bunch of ambassadors talking about bringing a starbase to a guy's planet because they're bringing upscale in armaments and aggression. Saru recommends increased security patrols, and everyone agrees to it. Saru is successful, and a certain Vulcan named Duvin would like a word. Up on a bridge, Duvin talks about conflict with the Vulcan purists and accuses Saru of voting along with his girlfriend. Saru claps back, but Duvin says appearances matter, and they kind of do. He says this relationship could be volatile in the eyes of the purists, and he walks away. Kind of does a mic drop. It's pretty sick. So you're right. It is a conflict of interest.
I was surprised that it was even allowed,
because she's like the president of Vulcan or whatever, some planet. Yeah, I don't know.
But and they're on a panel together where they vote. They're representing conflicting interests of different planets,
right? And like it would be fine if Saru or her was like, I'm going to vote, or I'm going to abstain due to conflict of interest. Let's have a vote.
Yeah, or I'm just going to not even take this job in the first place.
True.
It's
but he took the job so he could be closer to her all the time, which is like,
why is he could be a house husband. It's just like it's a post scarcity society. Like he can stay home all day with his weird plants and be a plant guy,
right?
Like being on a voting block where he is like actively involved in these politics. Like he can see, like they're going to bring that criticism on both of them, where if they ever vote alike, like that can easily undermine their decision making, because it's seen as like they're making those decisions together.
Right, exactly. And although Saru is like, oh, well, she votes her own conscience and interest. Yeah, but when like you cohabitate with a person and stuff, you kind of start to share and have similar interests, if not the same interests, because you are now legally a single unit. I don't know.
So you can't really say that they're making like a completely like acting in the best interest of the people they represent. Like it can be seen as like, any sort of like, I just feel like that shouldn't have been allowed in the first place.
Right. No, me neither. So down on Trill, Jinaal is taking Burnham and Book for a walk when a giant lizard is heard in the distance. Culber asks if it's worth it to risk their lives to get what they're looking for, and they say yes. Jinaal tells them how long ago the Federation got Velik, him, and 4 other scientists together to research the progenitors and their message. They found a technology in deep space beyond description. Someone tried to activate it and was killed, so they all made a pact and scrubbed the project from history and hid it. They hid what they found instead of giving the Federation the technology during the Dominion War when they would have weaponized it. And I kind of like this whole explanation. It makes sense to me, like scientists being like, oh, we found a great technology. However, it's wartime and it's only going to be used for like ills.
That's also why I'm concerned as to why the Federation, like, no one seems to be questioning the motives of the Federation, or just like, I mean, this is clearly a very dangerous, borderline eugenics type situation.
I mean, people are questioning so there is the part where Jinaal asks Burnham, like, if, like, this is going to be used for good, and she waxes poetical on the Federation. She's like, well, I know the Federation believes in good, and it's it's net positive and shit like that. And I'm like, okay, but that's like,
but like, she was interested from the get-go. She was just like, let's fly, let's do this. But it's just like, she never, at no point did she ever seem to actually weigh the consequences of this sort of technology. Just like, no one should own this sort of technology.
Yeah.
Like the progenitors did this, a long time ago. And it's just like, and within the hands, and this is sort of also goes against like what I don't know, like this sort of thing, like going after it feels like, they're almost kind of like a eugenics type thing, where it's just like, they talk about how it can create new life, and and it's just like, this doesn't fall under the agreement made after the eugenics wars to like ban any sort of like genetic engineering of any kind. It's just like, this is because like you're literally about to, you have the possibility of like designing a life forms in your own image, or however you want. And I just feel like that shouldn't be under the and clearly that's probably what they're going to come, like, the answer they're going to come to towards the end. It's like,
no one should have this
technology. Yeah, no one should have this, but I feel like that should have been like the stance from the beginning,
right? We need to find this technology so we can either dispose of it or hide it even better, because if we can find it, it's not hidden well enough.
Yeah, and I just finished watching the Halo series, and I didn't realize how similar this plot line is to like the Halo series, because because like the Halo is made. I didn't know anything. I didn't know jack shit about Halo lore until I started watching it.
I don't care either. So
and it was like there was like the Forerunners, which are kind of the progenitors, and they made the Halo to destroy all sentient life in the universe. After like a virus spread, and then they left things to create new life. After like after they wiped out the virus. And I just felt like, this is kind of similar to the whole progenitor thing, because like this technology has the potential to not only create new life but also destroy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like I like the being so like cheery and gung ho and just being like, wow, this is fast, let's go get it. I just like that. I figured it should have a little bit more like emotional weight to it.
Although, to be honest,
not just like wanting to go attain it just for like interest.
I mean, thinking about it though, like if it is the power to create new life in like a custom-made image, why would it be bad to give that to the Federation during the Dominion War? Because the founders do have that power, which is how they made the Jem'Hadar.
Well, I think like at that point, because it was like hidden during the Dominion War, it's like, I think what was his name? Jinaal.
Yeah, Jinaal.
Jinaal like says, at that point we couldn't trust anybody, so it would end up in the hands. It could have potentially have ended up in the hands of a changeling, because they were on Earth.
But that's the thing. The changelings already have that power. That's how they made the Jem'Hadar. They already have the power to custom make life forms.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, yeah, exactly. If that's the technology, it already kind of exists in this universe and had for thousands of years or hundreds of years. So I don't know. So on Discovery, Rayner is starting his meetings and asks everybody in 20 words or less something he couldn't read in their file. We get a montage of all sorts of stuff, which are kind of fun, I guess. My favorite was Jet Reno, who said they got chips last time they were there.
Yeah.
Which is like the only joke that actually gets a room to breathe in this entire episode.
Yeah. I definitely like Linus. Linus is fun, but I think it's just because he's a weird guy. And, but yeah, of course, Jet Reno's, I feel, is like I feel Tig Notaro is the only one really infusing their character with any sort of like personality.
She's the only actual comic actor on the show.
Yeah.
And the problem is they try to make like Tilly like one of the lead comic actors, and I don't think it's that good as comedy. It's just like a lot of awkwardness. Yeah, everyone has that sort of like, super cute, cutesy way of talking, and just, they're so adorable. Everyone's so adorable. And I feel like Jet Reno, I don't know, I feel Tig Notaro actually kind of infuses some personality, even though it is kind of almost Tig Notaro's actual personality. Yeah,
but
seems like it.
But brings like some sort of like, and that's why I kind of like Rayner too, where he has like sort of like a different personality than everyone else, who I feel kind of almost just talks the
like
same.
He's not on antidepressants. Like neither of them are. They're the only two people on the ship not on like serious antidepressants, serious SSRIs. Like they might as well call this like Star Trek Wellibutrin. Like they're the only ones actually getting their nuts off. So down on Trill, Adira and Gray have one sec. A talk. The talk. Gray says Adira seems to be doing well, and they're also good, but they both feel like something is different between them. And Gray is like leading this conversation, being like, I think we both think there's something different between us, and doesn't give Adira any time to talk.
I was about to say Gray definitely manipulated Adira in this situation.
100%.
To basically make it seem like this was Adira's idea.
Right. Yeah.
And I felt that was pretty fucked up.
It's pretty gaslighty. So Gray pitches like that maybe they try something different, and is like there's all types of relationships. I think they're suggesting poly. Pretty sure they're suggesting poly.
I'm pretty sure. I thought that was going to would have been interesting, because we did have the Poly King Phlox on Enterprise,
right?
And we haven't had any Poly characters since.
Yeah, I mean,
which makes sense,
right? We've of course got our kings and queens. We've got our both of our Daxes, both Jedzia and Curzon. Both Poly royalty. We've got our Riker. We've got our Phlox.
Phlox. How many wives did Phlox have? Yeah, I mean, and it's just like, obviously, like these sorts of situations have been introduced, and especially it makes sense given the variety of alien cultures that have all come to exist and in the Federation. And I felt like, and that's obvious, and also poly is something that has gained more traction and popularity in American culture now.
And also, like, how can they be a non-binary couple and like not want to be in a poly relationship? That's like it's like a stereotype. It's so prevalent. This is the only like monogamous non-binary couple in existence.
Yeah, and I actually thought they were going to go that route, but then it was definitely seeming like Gray was manipulating Adira into just being like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, we should just break up. Yeah.
Basically, Gray's like, maybe we can try like, there's all types of relationships. Maybe we can try a different type. And Adira's like, I can't do it any other way. And Gray's like, oh, so we're breaking up then. And or I guess is what you're saying is that we're breaking up, and Adira's like, yeah, and they break up, and I don't know. Yeah, I feel like,
but I will always respect you. And then being like, after Adira zips up, like, peace.
I'm gonna go get some weird they them strange.
Yeah, they them ussy.
Yeah, they them ussy. Whatever it may be.
It was pretty fucked up, and that's and I feel that's kind of just how just sort of like that sort of like, you know, adorable therapy speech has definitely been used for like malicious and evil purposes.
Yeah, this is how two psychology undergrads who are like manipulating each other break up.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, it was mutual.
It was
and then
mutual.
They cry a lot.
Yeah, we made that mutual decision that was definitely actually Adira brought it up first, you know.
Mm-hmm. It was the healthiest thing.
It was the healthiest thing.
So over with the away team, Book and Burnham are questioned again by Jinaal about their willingness to find what they seek. And this time I'm like, okay, you already asked. Like the first time it was long enough, but come on. Burnham waxes poetic on the Federation and how the good outweighs the bad, and talks Jinaal into continuing, but they find a dead dog.
Yeah. Also provides no kind of like actual reason, just uses you know, just
exactly.
like, we're good, you know, but doesn't provide any sort of like backing evidence for that.
That's what I'm saying, is she just like waxes poetic, and she like talks about the philosophy of the Federation stuff, and she's like, I don't know if the Federation is all good, but I know it's a net good, and like doing some very, very liberal talking points, and like, I know our system is flawed, but we're the least flawed ones, so we should have this like earth-breaking technology, whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly, and it's the same exact thing. Where it's just like, you know, whether we get Biden or Trump, and you know, Biden's the good, you know, and you know, the good fascist.
The good outweighs the bad. That kind of.
We can't have bad fascists. If we have bad fascists, that's when it would be an issue.
No, you gotta have the right color fascist.
Yeah, I have to have the right color fascist. Right, you know, it has to be the blue fascist.
Blue fascism. So, all right. The dead dog is like raptor prey, and they're close to some raptors. And the clue, the team gets their phasers out.
These aliens look like are basically the ones from what's it called? Darmok. You know, that kind of invisible.
Oh yeah,
you know, creature that attacks them on the thing, has like that sort of like cloaking technique. Maybe of course, like these are different aliens, but it's just like I thought it was funny, like that semi-invisible sort of like alien creature.
Yeah. So they later they find the clue built into a rock under a carving, is what Jinaal says. But a giant beast decloaks and shoots some shit at them, like some barbs. They try to communicate.
So it's kind of funny, like after 800 years, this space is completely, like untouched.
Right. Like, Trill is like just like little pockets and like little communities of like monks, and other than that, like they don't develop anything at all on their planet.
Yeah, they never built like a Buffalo Wild Wings there or anything. Or
there's not a Quark's bar there at all anywhere.
There's no Wingstop. They didn't build a Wingstop there, or like a Starbucks, like or anything. They just like it was just
untouched wilderness.
For 800 years.
Yeah, like where you can walk for days and get attacked by like fucking beasts that they haven't eradicated yet. Like,
no Trill teenagers went and spray painted that stupid thing.
Right,
that symbol.
Yeah, it's weird how like such an important planet in the Star Trek universe is like completely unpopulated, except by like groups of monks and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see like, you know, given that, you know, at this point we're multi-planetary,
but
so,
they're a warp-capable planet. So before that, they would have had to have like industrialized heavily.
Yeah.
So I don't get it, but whatever.
Yeah, and yeah, and of course, like, you know, these aliens have nested around this area, the monster things, but it's just like, but nothing in 800 years has affected no earthquakes, no shifting of like in 800 years, like, if you were to look at the places that we're sitting right now, would be a completely different thing.
Yeah, for sure. So Book creates a distraction while Burnham beams in, and they use their personal transporters to beam around the monster. Suddenly another one appears, and Book saves Burnham and takes a barb to the leg. Upon discovery, Rayner is talking to Tilly when Stamets comes in and says he hadn't accounted for half-life, that the progenitors are billions of years old, and if it is a regenerative technology, it could create life. He's obviously caught up on making another big discovery, since his mushroom spore drive won't be like the prevailing technology. And Rayner says...
he brings up regenerating dead flesh, which is another thing that's already been explored in the 100%
Star
Trek universe.
It's already been explored in Discovery.
Yeah, and
like
it's wrong.
His husband... His husband was brought back to life by mushrooms, man.
Yeah, he's like, his husband is literally a mushroom. But yeah, it's just like this idea that, we can just regenerate whoever we want. And it's just like, but again, like the Federation kind of has this stance where it's just like, they respect like the natural like end the life. They respect what's end. They don't there are people that unnaturally extend their lives, but it's like they don't typically try to fuck with like the undead too much.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Quick side note. Is it me, or does Star Trek Discovery have more breakups than any other Star Trek?
I think it does.
Because we've already had like Burnham and Book. We've got Adira and Gray. There's more. I know there's more in Discovery. We've got from like the first or second season, Burnham and the fucking Klingon guy.
Burnham and Klingon guy. Yeah, Burnham's had like a lot of bad boyfriends.
Yeah, she really has. Like, but whereas like in DS9 in TNG, the way you break up with your significant other is they die.
Yeah, they die.
Like with Worf, 2 dead. Fucking Kira, couple dead.
The Worf Troy thing was kind of introduced and then just kind of forgotten about.
They didn't break up though. We didn't ever have to see them have a discussion about it.
No, that's true. Yeah, we didn't have them being like, well,
we tried. I can't take both those dicks at once. Too much.
Yeah, unlike Kira and Bareil. Bareil dies.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I guess technically Kira and Odo, break up.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah, he's like, I gotta go back and
I gotta peace out. But there's Odo and Kira, they didn't manipulate each other in a really shitty way. To break up.
It made sense. Rayner says Stamets' 20 words are up and he's dismissed. Stamets is confused and walks out. When he leaves, Tilly asks Rayner why he's such a dick and says he's trying to hide how hard it is to deal with a demotion, which is very perceptive and a pretty good Tilly moment, I'd say. I don't love Tilly as a character, but this wasn't bad. With Saru, he asks if maybe they should postpone the wedding to his girlfriend, and his girlfriend asks if he talked to Duvin, who works for her, and says he doesn't understand her interests. Saru says he's simply protecting her, and she wonders...
Also, like, what Duvin says isn't like out of the blue, like isn't like something that's like unreasonable. It's a very reasonable position.
Yeah, it's saying, hey, listen, people might be not okay with your conflict of interest here. And Saru's like, there's no conflict of interest. I just work with and vote with my girlfriend.
Who is soon to be my wife.
Yeah, it's yeah, exactly. So with
that's like if the Queen of England and the United States president were married.
That'd be pretty sick, though. That'd be pretty sick.
That'd be pretty sick. It'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, especially if it was like Trump and the Queen of England.
I feel like that's almost what there's like some Netflix show that's kind of doing that, where it's just like a prince and like the son of the of the American president are fucking.
Great. So Saru says he's simply protecting her, and she wonders who asked for a caretaker. Fucking roasted. Absolutely roasted, Saru.
Got him.
Fucking roasted that fish. So with Burn Book, she takes the barb out of his leg and realizes... Should we go with Burn Book, Book Burn? I don't know.
Yeah, book burning.
Book burn him.
Also, again, this is like they do have like an opportunity to reach like their ship, like and like the ship doesn't seem to be monitoring their activities at all whatsoever.
No,
and I get, given this is a Federation planet, like, you know, they're still doing something that's like, you know, dangerous. Like they're like Maul and Locke are potentially still out there.
Yeah.
And there's still dangers, apparently. Like, no one knew about these giant monsters that exist on Trill all the time.
No. Yeah, right? They didn't have it in their Federation database, like, hey, we should look out for these, or this is how we, like, defeat these things, or, like, communicate with them, or something.
Yeah, and this is when they have full contact with the ship, and, like, Burnham's not really, like, sharing, like, her progress or status with the ship.
No.
Whose
though she said
at this
like
point
Adira,
is supposed to be like monitoring her.
But she also had Adira on that, and Adira is like, you know, going through one right now and probably crying in a bathroom somewhere.
Yeah, Adira just got completely manipulated.
Yeah, gaslit into breaking up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just currently, instead of using their tricorder to like monitor you know, their commanding officer, they're just looking up like painless ways to die. It's like, computer or Zora, what's the best way to kill myself?
Computer, replicate rope.
Just put it under their chin like Miles.
Computer, replicate 800 Tylenol. Computer. And a scotch. All right.
And a scotch.
So with Burn Book, she takes a barb out of his leg and realizes the rocks they were near were actually the eggs of the beast, and they need to come back for the clue. They try to beam out, but they're too close to the rock and can't. Burnham says basic anthropology is to show respect to what they're studying. So Burnham and Book do a Jurassic World and like confront the things, and Book uses his Beastmaster senses to talk with them, and they back off and let them leave.
And again, this is like, yeah,
this is some fantasy bullshit now. Like, he's got Beastmaster skills.
Yeah, and also this was like Book wasn't included because of this power. It just happened to have this power that came in handy, you know, on this mission. And it's just like, you know, it would have made sense as if he was included for his Beastmaster abilities, but it's just like, oh, I just happen to have this thing that came in handy.
Yeah, he's
you
like,
know, you think you would bring like an expert and like, you know, ancient Trill history or something, or they didn't even really except for Jinaal, they don't even really bring a Trill with them.
Yeah, they don't need, and yeah, yeah. I mean, Jinaal's not even. It's a Trill, like in a human body. So I don't know. It's like a Dira almost, I guess. But
yeah.
But it's got the memories, and part of me wonders if it's just that Trill symbiont or the Trill and the woman. Like, how does that work when they do the?
I think it was just like, yeah, just like how when Odo just got Curzon.
Right. Okay.
And so, like, I think only one of them was just like, all right, I'm going to go into this guy, you know, stick around.
So, Book and Burnham come back to Jinaal, who's stargazing in a clear day for night shot. It's like, obviously the sun's up, but they want it to be night, so they just put a filter over it. Jinaal says this was a test and gives them a real clue, which he had right there. I don't know, was it in his pocket, or he said it was like just on the rock, and like, how did that not get disturbed in 800 years?
No clue.
No.
Like, yeah, just like, yeah, it was in just like a little bit of rocks, and supposedly like no major weather event happened in this area. No shifting of the tectonic plates on this planet.
Right. No one tried to develop this in 800 years, which is insane.
Yeah. No one built a wing stop on this area in 800 years. Like. that would have also added.
Your clue is in the foundation of the wings and things.
Yeah, like it turns out like Bix is just like the manager of the Wingstop, and then you have to order like it's like, I'll take the lemon pepper wings. Do you think that's the right decision?
Does the Federation approve of the lemon pepper wings?
And what kind of sauce would you choose if you had this technology? Would you choose the right sauce?
Your clue will be on the bottom of your receipt.
I'll take buffalo. Interesting. All right. Well.
So, Jinaal gives him the clue, and they're the coordinates to the next clue. Okay.
Also, this was a pretty, I don't know. It was pretty obvious. Like Jinaal was testing them the entire time. I said that I was just like, this is clearly a test because he was asking them, you know, would you do something fucked up with this technology? And okay, we gotta deal with these monsters. How would you deal with the monsters in this situation? It's just like,
would you kill them?
Are they like, at no point are they like, oh, we've gone through this test a million times, you know? This is like, we're not supposed to kill them.
Yeah, it'd be amazing if like some Rissians showed up for this clue, and like they're like, well, what do you do with the monsters? And they end up just impregnating the monsters. And Jinaal's like, I didn't plan for this. I don't know if I want to give this to you. I mean, I guess you didn't kill them, so you passed, but so with Saru, he comes up to Tarina and asks if they can talk. He apologizes, and she accepts. He says he's never experienced conflict with someone he loves, and she says it's not to be feared in regular or political life.
So has like Saru never had a girlfriend?
No. She says they have nothing to hide, and Saru wants to announce their engagement immediately. So,
completely steamrolling any sort of concern people have, you know, legitimate concerns that people have for like the conflict of interest that they now.
Now he's like, you know, a husband and wife can't like have a deposition against each other in court. You know that, right? I don't have to. I don't have to. Fucking It's a legal indemnity when we get married, baby. Plus, I get a green card. So on Trill, they end the Janchara, and Jinaal leaves Culber's body. Culber says the experience was like nothing else and beyond words. Burnham thanks them for everything, and they leave. So at the Discovery Bar, Raynor and Tilly encounter each other. Raynor talks about a mutual trust between himself and his former crew. And Tilly says there needs to be more than just trust. And Raynor starts talking about everybody because he's read all their files. And he's looked at all their leaked nudes as well. Tilly...
Also, it's just like, I don't know, I feel like this is also, again, like something they should have worked, you know, he would have figured out as a captain for 40 plus years that he's been one.
Yeah.
Like...
But Tilly gets to condescend to him because she's smart and because she's
a trainer.
Yeah, I don't know. So Tilly, but apparently not a good one because she keeps on saying like her fucking cadets are never up to the task and shit. So I don't know. So Tilly says analyzing them isn't the same as knowing them, and she says respect has to be earned. He says respect has to be earned, and she's like, yeah, that goes both ways. Yeah, that's not a bad scene. I think Tilly's actually really good in this episode for the most part, even though I don't love all of Raynor's decisions, and he's kind of an idiot, but whatever.
Yeah.
So,
but I feel like it's kind of, they force him into that kind of situation.
So Culber drinks alone in a corner when Burnham joins him. They're ready to go to Zingenthi space for the next clue, but have to wait for the diplomats to clear the way for them.
Don't worry, they're married, so they can just
They talk about the Jintara, and Kolber can't begin to explain it. It makes him think of his abuela. Okay. And it's weird that it didn't translate abuela to grandma.
Yeah.
So it's the standard. I don't know. So Burnham says, I mean, do people recognize that word in standard? Is abuela just a word in standard now? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah. I think like it's just, there are, they have proven like, Worf has shown like, yes, he can like say words in Klingon without it being translated.
True. But Spanish?
Sure.
Okay. Burnham says maybe by the end of their journey, they'll both find the answers that they need. This is just kind of one of these waxing philosophical kind of conversations.
Yeah.
It's not great on this program. So on Trill, Gray gives a speech about how every life is a journey about changes. On Discovery, Book looks into Maul, while Saru somewhere hangs out with Tarina, and Kolber and Raynor look out into the middle distance at respective bars, while Burnham does some meditation. Gray and Adira hold hands. They let a Trill into the water, and it swims away. Adira shakes hands with someone who puts a device on them. It's Maul! Maul's there.
Whoa.
Maul put a device on them, walks away. Dun, 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 dun. End of episode.
Somehow that wouldn't be noticed in the transport buffer.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, yeah, and like they allowed people to like beam down and stuff, and like the Federation couldn't just like beam down without permission, and like no one noticed that this person off-world who's wanted and their ship is being actively looked for. Like no one notices anything.
They got villain plot armor.
Yeah, Discovery's just hovering overhead, nothing. No one notices anything.
Supposedly doing their job.
Yeah. What do you think of this episode? I do.
It was okay.
Yeah. It was fine.
I mean, there's like, I do feel like there was like some very obvious like interesting conflicts, that they just kind of ignore, where obviously like Saru and his wife would have conflict of interest in their relative positions, and they just decide that's not an issue.
No,
because they're the right people. They're the right kind of people who don't make bad decisions.
Right. And that's I think another kind of problem with this show is it's like full of like scolds and elites. Like
scolds and elites.
Yeah. People who no one loves to see, but like. I think some of the people writing the show or producing the show think that those are like cool people.
Yeah, they're obviously the good decision makers, so there wouldn't be a conflict of interest. If they were the bad people, if they were Lul and Mock, that would be a bad conflict of interest.
Because they're bad, because they're scavengers who took something from an 800-year-old ship that was floating in dead space. Boo.
Yes. So that's that's just ignored. I mean, we're glad they're going on this Indiana Jones style adventure, I guess.
Are we?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if we need the 10 episodes of this, but okay.
Yeah, there's not a lot of meat on that bone. That's like, I would like, hopefully there's going to be a standalone episode. We're going to have like the wedding episode clearly, and at some point. So hopefully the wedding episode is just a complete standalone. We get to have some sort of like fun little space wedding for that,
Right. I definitely want the Saru loses his virginity episode.
Yeah, we're gonna see Saru loses his virginity on camera.
Please.
From every angle.
I want to see his butthole. I want to see what that fishy butthole look like.
His colocula.
Yeah. His Count Chocula.
Yeah, his Count Chocula.
This episode was fine. It was several plots that were whatever. The one that really bothered me the most definitely was the manipulative breakup.
Yeah, that was very clear.
I'm also
manipulation.
So tired of Burnham book away mission episodes. It's always just them two, and they're too fucking Mary Sued. They're too competent at whatever they do. They're just like, they never need help from anybody else.
Nope.
No, they've got all the answers.
Yeah, we never need to have anybody else on the crew go down and have fun.
No. They have to go and be dour with Raynor. Yeah. Do kind of
do HR.
Yeah, I did enjoy the Raynor plot line. I guess probably the most out of any of the plot lines in this episode. You know, he's kind of a dick and a dummy, but and it's weird that he hasn't like learned anything from being a commander for fucking like 40 years or whatever. But you know, we'd love to see like second chance arches, and we'd love to see like fucking just tired old guy energy, fucking, you know, like much like Shaw from Star Trek Picard.
He's very Shaw coded.
Very Shaw coded, which, you know, we love in Star Trek. We need someone there who isn't smiling with every sentence and being like, oh, therapy makes everything better. Yeah. One thing I noticed too in this episode, and I keep noticing it, but I keep on forgetting to bring it up, is like Burnham smiles before and after she talks. And it's really
I think
weird.
Everyone does almost.
Yeah, but Burnham does like a big, weird, kind of creepy smile, like, yeah, and like she ends like all of her sentences with this weird, creepy smile in a way that I can only describe it as like unsettling in a way I only find like Kamala Harris unsettling.
Yes,
it's this,
but yeah, she definitely needs to have one of those like, did you just fall out of a coconut tree? we need a line like that.
That would be so amazing if they pulled that line. That'd be so good. No, you exist in the
context
of everything that came before you and everything that is. Yeah, so this episode was fine. I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10, maybe.
Sounds appropriate. Yeah,
I feel like the first two episodes were stronger. Yeah, and I feel like the first two episodes are always usually the strongest of most any Star Trek season so far. In New Trek, at least. Like the first two episodes are where they start out real good, and sometimes they have a good finale, but most of the time the stuff in between feels a lot more like filler.
Yeah.
Or just getting to a conclusion. Yeah, so it's whatever. I don't know. I don't think this is going to shape up to be a great season. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's more or less very forgettable for me, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, we need more weird androids in there.
We do.
Something.
Yeah. So I guess that's it. I don't know. You got anything more to say?
Nah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what comes up next week.
I guess
more Maul and Locke just have their name said a million times and
not seeing them.
Hope maybe the wedding episode. Let's hope.
Yeah. Let's hope for a baby. All right. Well, I think that's a good place for us to leave it. Thanks for hanging with us, Soyagers. Be well, travel safe. And I don't know, if you want, go check out the season of Star Trek Discovery. It's up on my server.
Check it out. Thanks for checking with us, soy boys, girls, and lily beans.
Hang dong. And shocker.
Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy. Soy, soy.